Let's discuss today Docker. Why we use the Docker? Docker provides straightforward way to create run a virtual environment for a containers on a single machine. Unlike traditional virtual machines, it does take more resources than Docker. Docker containers requires few resources, allows you to run the multiple applications with easy using only necessary resources. This is why Docker is widely adapted. It's a simplifies applications manages by building everything need into the images can be run anywhere. And the next, what was the Docker Hub? This is the most important thing, Docker Hub. Search the Docker Hub. The Docker Hub, a vast collection of pre-built Docker images or the different applications. You can easily pull these images from the Docker Hub, hub, and use it directly additionally. You can create your own Docker Hub and push the Docker Hub and push them to Docker Hub and pull them where you are need. Like I want to search something like these are also already Nginx. Like I want to search the Nginx Nginx ingress. Okay, it's verified, but it's not a Docker version. It's verified, updated 2 days ago. I want to copy them and use the terminal. This is a pull. This Docker pull command is one of the most useful command for fetching the images from the Docker Hub or other Docker repository. Example, I click enter. So ask the allow. Okay, something it may ask you allow or not. It takes some time. My internet is very slow. This command downloads specify images. These are the layers. In this case, and saves into your local machine. Once pulled, the image remains on your local machine. So you can use it as many times as you need without re-download it. Okay, done. It's successfully fetched from the Docker Hub, and the next command, the Docker run command, is used to run the containers for an image. For example, like a Docker run command is used to run the Docker containers for an image. For example, Docker run ubuntu. Okay, I want to check it was running or not using Docker ps command. Docker ps is a command shows the all running containers including IDs, their IDs, names, and others details. Docker ps. Sorry, there is no such a ubuntu containers are running. Okay, I have the another one like a Docker. See the all containers including those what have been stopped. Yes. It's fine. The Docker 43 seconds ago exited. It was created and exited about 43 seconds ago. Why? It's and then so on Linux also it's created and stop it exited about 1 minute ago. The running a name container with terminal access. To run the containers with specified names or open an interactive session using the following command like a Docker run has a name tag. I want to run ubuntu. Sorry, it's a test. And ID, it's an interactive mode. Like ID provides the interactive terminal, so you can access the Ubuntu command line with the container and ubuntu and the bash session into the container. I want to enter into the bash terminal So click enter. uh, now I'm a, now I'm in I'm in Ubuntu container. Let's check ls and sudo sorry apt get update. It's working very well. Okay, let's stop it. I want to exit it. I want to check it again. It's the container. The container name is ps.a. As you see, there is a name, a test. So is existed in 9 seconds ago. Is 39 seconds, created 39 seconds ago and exited in 9 seconds ago. I want to run it again Ubuntu container with a new name in detaching mode using the D option, like docker run name sorry name server Ubuntu no. In the detach mode, it does not provide any output. It's only display the container name. I want to check again if the docker ps command to see it's running successfully or not. Yes. Okay, the two containers are up and running. One was the test 4 and the server. Right now it's created 10 seconds. It's up, created 10 seconds ago, up 10 seconds ago. After that I want to see the name of the container servers, what are the files present without entering into the container. There is another option like docker exec and this name of the container and ls. Okay, when I use the docker exe container name, it will successfully show all the details of the bin and boot dev etc and the lib and media, whatever it is. We can also run the some of the contain commands like linux commands without entering into the container. exe as a service, I want to update the container like apt get update, showing updating going on. You can also use, if you want any linux command without entering into the server, you can run it using the exe augment. Next, the docker stop command. If you want to stop the container using the docker stop container id or the container name, for example I will show you like a docker stop server. Okay, it was successfully, check it again. It successfully terminated. I want to terminate this test for also using id. If you prefix 3 names, it's enough. It's not entire and container id stopping. Successfully terminated. I want to check it again. The ps, there is no containers are running right now. The container test 2 and test 3 successfully removed. Container there's no such is the names. Docker provides several categories of images, enhance the security of usable official images. I show the example. Sorry, again. These are the official images. Official images maintained and published by the Docker. These images are well documented and widely used, undergoes security checks. These are they serve and reliable foundations of the build applications are kept up to date, the latest security patches, the best practice, and then verified images. These are the verified images. Verified images are published by the trust organization, so the developers. These images are undergoes the verification process by the Docker to ensure they meet certain standards of the quality security, where they are not maintained by the Docker, but their verification helps under to identify the repeatable images for user projects. And the next one, sponsor. The sponsor, these images may be the less commonly used, the official images, but still provide the useful functionality and often supports by the sponsor organization. The sponsors are significant, but the images has been recognized from its values and potential by the Docker community. This category helps you choosing the right image based on the trust, security, and supports, making it easy to deploy the applications. Most of the times, here real cases we have to use the Docker official websites. Sorry, Docker official images, the Alpine, Redis, whatever it is, HTTP, the and the bunch of the Python, the huge repositories was developed by the Docker, and sometimes we use the verify publishers. Uh, the local scenarios, like I want to use the Grafana, updated is up to date to the 14 hours. Must be sure, use the checking the dates, it's continuously updating or not. Don't use the old ones, like sometimes it's have the security patches. Some if you have the security patches, it's vulnerable, someone easily entered in your network or Docker container stole some information. Be careful. Discuss about some pulling images with versions, tags or names. I show the example Docker pull Redis latest. This command pulls the latest version of the Redis image from the official Docker repository. If you are not mentioned the latest version, it's automatically like a latest tag. It's automatically fetch the it's automatically pulls the latest version from the Docker hub. So go in the Docker hub and searching as the okay. It's successfully pulled from the Docker hub, and we can also and another example. I want to pull the Docker, the Mongo, the particular version 7.0.05. Okay, this is version is presented in the Docker hub. So downloading 200 MB, it's a huge, it takes a lot of time, that's why I'm shutting down, cancelling it, and using here we are pulling the 7.0.5 for the MongoDB tag, like ensure we are using the exciting version instead of latest version while changing over time. And then Docker pull busybox busy. This command pulls the glyphs variant of the busybox. Command tag like glyphs provide the specified version of the configuration of the image. So this successfully pulled. And there is unofficial repositories also there. In additionally unofficial repositories, Docker allows to pull the images from the third-party repositories. Involves the owners or the usernames or organizations named by the repository name. I want to pull Docker IO client. the latest. Here the pulling RGSYNC image from third-party registers of the GitHub container registry, including usernames of organization. Reds client in this case helps Docker identify the finding the image. It's now successfully fetched, pulled. Next we have to discuss about the Docker images. DZ sets. This is the output like using the SHA-256 keys. And Docker images registers is uniquely identified with the special versions of the images. It is a cryptography hashes is often SHA-256 format generated based on the content by the images, making the unique queue to extract the versions. Generator this accidentally override the same tag, but DZ will change allowing the between the different versions of some tags like a pull. Searching. Okay, that's fine. It successfully get the data. Successfully pull the image, the particular SHA version from the Ubuntu library. That's it. Docker inspect commands provide the detailed information of image containers, other objects. For example, Docker inspect output the JSON file that's look like this, including metadata for each layer, configuration settings and environment variables. So created author hostname. So commands. And the next Docker history command. Docker history commands allows to Docker history command allows you to build the history of the images. It shows the sequence commands use it to build the image resulting layers along the details like command executor, size of the each layer, timestamp. However, the important note of the Docker history display the building history rather the strict the finding layers like env environment variables expose and cmds and entry points args cmds. This is the metadata creating the layer. This is instructions define the environment and behavior to containers without changing the file system, so does not increase the image size or adding the layers. Use the Docker Buildx and image tools inspect like a Alpine. What you the container name? What you mentioned anything like it's Ubuntu, whatever it is, to inspect the image like Alpine. I show you the example is Alpine and they demonstrate how the Docker the manifest list each specify manifest hit enter. It's fetching the information using the API from the Docker. Okay, this is a bunch of the output like platforms which are supported, which are the images to pull the based on the client architectures. Example, if you are using the ARM device, Docker will use the ARM specify images to manifest it's automatically. If you need not to suffer anything like it's the platforms and media architectures using the JSON file. There's a bunch like the hues. This Alpine supports a hues and Windows architectures. This Alpine supports ARM 6 version 64, AMD 64, ARM version 7, and Linux 386 and Linux 390. These are the platforms the Alpine support. Docker pull Alpine is automatically fetch the based on your model like architectures, it's fetch the image based on your architectures. The example how the create such a platforms. I have the dedicated cloud system running on the Linux platform, which have I have the dedicated cloud system running on the Linux platform with AMD 64 architecture, and I want to create a Docker file, optimize it to run on the specified architecture. By configuring the Docker way, I can ensure the efficiently performs and reduce the chances of the crash. This setup is also minimize the resources usage, making the builds faster and more affordable. And this example I explain what these are. Like introduction, so Docker Buildx build. This is the main command. Create the multi-architecture images. Mention the Buildx is extended tools like a Docker build images from multiple architectures, not just the default architectures. And the builder is a specify which builder instances to create. Not these builder instances are likely environment configuration like a handles build, and like I mentioned, it's a cloud manipulation. The DD cloud is a customized builder instances that may be set up the specified platforms and environment. And then next platform, the platform is a tag. It's a optimize to define the target of for the image. Here the Linux AMD 64, so and desktop CPUs, and Linux ARM 64s like Raspberry Pis or the MacBooks. The Buildx lets you build the image the multiple platforms in one go, making the easier to support the different architectures. And the T means option with the tags and names, with the name, the example like a negi pollution, negi pollutant, under the TU, it's a private TU demo and the latest version. And the next, the push, the automatically uploads the build the images and Docker registers and push the Docker hub. This once the build completed, this approach makes it easier to view, understand the syntax, broad significance, the multiple architectures builds. It's identify the security risks with your image before the deployed. Quickly addressing for the fixing security issues in your image, and seamlessly integrated into your software development lifecycle with your robust integrations, and evaluates the ensure and secure standards. Like let's begin by exploring Docker Scout. First we need to check the present on your the system using the command like docker root version. Okay, if the output shows successfully, it means Scout is installed on your local system. It is not, maybe you need to update the Docker. As Scout is includes the new version, Docker Scout is stable after its recent release. It is a powerful detecting the managing vulnerabilities. Let's start starting with the basic command. Scout. Okay, we enter this command, and Docker Scout provides the detailed information about the vulnerabilities with the specified image. The output displays the summary of the detection vulnerabilities as the totally 5. One was marked as a medium. I'll show you this. One was marked as a medium, and severally further as a low. This also indicates this vulnerability reports a month. And I go and now have the and none have been fixed yet. Additionally, the output lists the name of affected packages. This is the affected packages with the specified details of the vulnerability. Like I want to say some Alpine into my local directory in this command. Why? successfully stored. Why I want to do this? Because I don't have any local files. Would you like to check the image after saving it? I can use the following command to save this image from the vulnerability. Using this command allows you to analyze the tar files and check the vulnerable of the output indicates the one vulnerable was detected. The one vulnerable is detected, and the command scan the saved detected, and it has unspecified vulnerability. Shows us the command like you can also check docker cs ves and fs. You can easily check this command. You can easily check the local files within the current directory. This command scan the relevant files in the specified directory and identify know the vulnerability associated with the present package. It shows the straightforward way to analyze the local images from the security issues. You can also save like a sorry format save output output alpine. Like this is very useful. Like it's a very useful if you want to save the further you want to save the data for the further analysis by using the sharif format. You can generated structure of outputs can easily integrated with the various tools like for the vulnerability tagging and reporting. You can easily file names and prefers indicating instead of uh, alpine.sharif.json. Like you can use finally the last check sharif. Okay, this is output. It's a formatted saves in the json. Finally, the last part of the common reference image local file. If you want to analyze in the case Alpine, output will be saved the specified. If you want to generate output, it's a markdown format. It is easily converted into HTML, better readable. This command is provides the structures overview of the vulnerable detection, the specify image of the Alpine, and the formatting output. The suitable the document presentation in this format. This markdown outputs can be rendering as HTML, make easy to share the understanding of the vulnerability information. And the next, the comparison of the commands, like a Docker socket comparison. You can easily compare plus cout scout Alpine. 6. Using this command, you can easily compare the previous version of the images latest version. This command is particularly used when you build the Docker images push into the Docker hub with a different tag. If you want to check the change made since the last version, if you have forgotten the modified implementation, Docker Scout simplifies the process. If in this example, although you don't have any own image, sorry, I don't have any own image. I am comparing the Alpine version 3.18.3 and 3.11.6. By entering the command, you can receive the output details between two images, like sizes changes. Show this, the size of the difference, information how the size changes, vulnerabilities, like the number of vulnerability each version indicates the new version indicates new vulnerabilities to remove the existence ones. 23, for example, if might be sees the 23 vulnerabilities are added and 15 were removed and package changes, you will see the list of the packages have been added or removed. For the instance, output might shows the new packages added and removed. This comparison output provides the detailed view of the changes, including the security vulnerabilities, such as critical vulnerabilities, can help to understand the overall security performances of the image in the. This command saves the output is the markdown format. I'm scanning my local Alpine. This command docker scout compare rq is have the local tar file, and it's have the local tar file and comparison to the present version, like in the docker hub, using the format like markdown. It show the output like this. And then I want to say this like in a JSON file. You can also use like 19.4, showing the output, right? I don't have any indexing file. To analyze the current working directory file against a cloud working directory to analyze the current working directory file against a cloud docker image, use this following command. This is very helpful, the present working directory. And you can also use image alpine latest. This command help you the comparison of special local image if you want to latest alpine image from the cloud, but allowing through the vulnerability assumption for the changing trackings. This output shows the recommendation update refers to the based on the image indication, including potential reductions in image. Like it shows the bunch of the information, the scan, stable scan, test in scan. This is one of the useful Docker Scout recommendations. It recommends only the refers alpine. This is the latest. They cannot display the recommendation. That's why it's already the latest one. You can search the particular version 3.10.11. Okay, that's fine. Something is going wrong. Okay, try is the newest version, as you can the 3.11. I think this version is mistakenly placed. You can use what you need. Docker Scout recommend only update. It shows any new updates. This alpine image, no based image, like it's already newest one. And the next one, Docker Scout quick view. This Docker image provides the quick overview of the image, including summary of vulnerabilities found in the specified images and based on the stable images. Here the example, the target as base image refers base image updates target digits, and the based image refers the based image updates the based image. Next, Docker login allow requires specify username and password. Uh, some images need the attestation tuple, which is why you need to log in. The login prompts to ask for your username in the password. If you already logged in, it shows like the confirmation successful login successfully. I already logged in, that's why I showed login successfully. Docker info. Docker info provides comprehensive information about the Docker, uh, like installation, including servers and clients versions. Similarly, as a Docker version, there is nothing different, but it's additionally system-wide details. So proxy supports. Thing additionally further some information like next. Show the one of the command like Docker run detach mode and the name web, the p port 8000 and port 80 ngina. I want to run the using the Docker port 8080, specifying the port nginx. This run the Docker images on the specified ports. Something is going wrong. Sorry, my bad. nginx. Okay, this command the running to run the Docker image on the specified port, use the p 8000 and 80. This option specify the port mapping. For example, I map the container port 8000 to the host for the port 80. This allows to access the applications from the container with the port on your machine. The T means detach. Flag tells the to run the background daemon processing detach for the local terminal, and the name also know the name has a web. And the port is specifying the port, and the nginx is the image name. And the next one, you can also Docker logs. Container log web. The container log web command following by the container ready or the name. I specified the name. Display the container outputs. This is helpful to monitorize the helping inside the containers. You don't need to check the constantly, but only when you need to see what's going on. You can also see like since and until in this example. Present this command is not working, like it's just starting the container. The logs are will empty since the container have been time to generated output at the container running the long time. It will you want to see if you want showing the output like nothing. If the container is running very long time, you want to the certain logs of the time, you can use this command. And the next update command. container is running, you notice some memory issues. uh, you can update these resources allocated using the update command. This is update command. Yeah. Explaining this, modify the resources limits of the already containers, like updated CPU shares as a 512 and memory as a 120. Limit to container use to 120 MB, and the memory swap limits the combining the memory swap use to 256 MB. You can then we have the checking the what was the pass command. Docker container, rather this stopped or passing the container is used to when you need to temporarily freeze the process, the free up resources and perform the maintaining without fully stopping the container. Restart the container. Then I want to restart it. Restart the container using restart command. This is very useful to troubleshoot or applying updates of the container. Restarting often resolves minor issues or applying the configuration changes. And then the volume command. Volume. This command creates a new volume called a Redis data. The named volume precisions independent of the container's lifecycle. Here, the Redis data could be used to store the Redis databases files. So, if the data is prevented in the container is deleted, still the data is present on the local available. You need to assign the different containers. This one. Sorry, the Redis created. And then I'm next creating a network. We discussed this volumes and networks on the other. It's very used topic right now. Just understand how this works. Docker. Networking was created. The bridge. Creating a network after dividing the containers. Sometimes you need to run the containers with the same ports requirements of the different networks. This is where networks namespaces comes in handy. The creating a customer network that contains can run the communication with each other. Network provides the isolated allow the specifying containers to interact using organized container applications where several service may need to isolated environment of the private network. We discuss this later. What was the copy command? If sorry. Shown successfully copied on the user desktop. It's a if if you need to copy the files different containers, so the host of the container has started. You can use the following command like doctor cp and the name of the container, folder name, the folder name and destination. It's copy. For example, this is use successfully configuration like logs and other the containers host via versus the forwarding, including the during containers installation setup. This is showing the example to successfully copied the web temp files in the desktop, and then diff file. The diff file command shows the changes made by the file systems running at the stop in the container. If the list of the files directories that have been added or deleted or modified since the container was created. And then next docker wait web. This wait command is used to make the docker wait until the specified container stop or running. If often used as scripts, the automated task where you need to monitor the containers or know the exactly it's also finished running. But it's very less time used. You can automation using the Docker Swan or Kubernetes. Being by creating a directory for your Docker project and launch the visualization code and open the newly created directory. I already done that. And in the terminal you can run docker init and hit enter. It's create everything. Like this command will create the essential files like including Dockerfile and Docker ignore file. This Docker ignore file helps to execute unnecessary files from the Docker context, which is can be reduce the image size and speed up the building process. And the next one, open the Docker file, erase everything. Let's discuss the commands you want within this Docker file one by one, and and explain why each command is important. Let's explain one by one. The from indicates the base image we build upon on the Docker file, and the next is the label. The label is used to add the metadata to the image, such as the maintainer name, organization, or the email address of the other relevant information. This metadata help to who created the image and provide some context and this in this purpose. I want to enter my name and email ID. And next ARG instruction define the variables of the available during the build stack of the image, but not in the runtime. This is very useful. The passing the building time variables like version stacks or building configurations. For example, you can define the version of the numbers of settings, other settings that are only needed while assembling the image. So build time. So I put it a deployment. That's fine. You can also mention whatever it is, it's a version name or everything. Env is a set of environment variables. These variables are crucial. The runtimes can influence by the behavior of the applications running inside the containers. For instances, when you create the database like MySQL, or you set up the environment variables for the username, password, and others configuration settings. This is also manage sensitive information securely. The working directory instructions create the working directory to your application inside the container. For example, you can create the directory /app in this example, and if you prefer the different names, you can specify that as well. This directory where will copy the execute the commands. The copy is the instruction used to copy the files from the host images and working directory. For instances, you can copy all the files current directory to the slash app in the container, and the run instructions are used to execute the commands in the containers during the build processes. For example, you might want to update the packages, manages the installation necessary packages. You can also specify the multiple commands in a one run instructions by changing them with the n and n, and then the Linux commands. You can easily understand what these commands are. For example, run apt in this command, in this updating and installing the curl and running echo, and I can also running the second echo. This is a sample command docker setup, and I copy it into the slash app into information text some doing, and expose instructions indicates the port containers listening on a runtime. For example, if you are running an application on 8080, you can specify the 8080 as specifying the 8080. The volume is instructions define the mount points for a presidential storage. This is essential when running containers to generate or modify data by defining the volumes. If ensure the data is remaining available even the container is stopped or removed. This is particularly important of the databases when the data is presidential is critical. The entry point is specify the command shows the executable. When the container starts the setup, the primary process the container of the container, and it is not override the commands like line arguments. This entry point is often used to define the main application of services the container intended to run. And the cmd, the next one, cmd, and didn't mentioned anything, it's optional. You can, like, cmd is the instructions provide the default arguments for the entry point command. If entry point is not specified, the cmd we use it to define the commands continues to runs. Unlike entry point and cmd can be override by the command line arguments and start the container. So dot indicates the current working directory. It's a running, creating. Yeah. From and pull the docker image from the docker hub, and create a working directory and copy the entire current folder to app, it's like slash app, and run apt update and apt install the curls and echo command, and run the echo command. The builder separated, I created also builder created name. You can create the one, it's separate them. Like if you have the multiple builders, you can separate the using the builder option. And the platform I mentioned the Linux ARM64, it's only specifying the laptop versions. And the next, the T means tag testing company, and the host, given the name the host, and version ch 8.1. I want to change to latest. The push on the present working dot means present working directory, I hit enter. Docker Compose. What was the Docker Compose? Docker Compose allows you to run the multiple Docker containers with a single Docker Compose YAML file. Simply set up the multiple containers applications. In this demonstration, I compose files indicates the arguments, volume mounts, and expose ports, and define networking The example we use in version is 3.8. You should be specified as being on the file. You can also go and see the Docker ML versions. As you required any new version, you can update it. Version in this version, set up the starting with the version set of the 3.8. Specifying the version is mandatory for the compose to understand the future syntax that they are being used. And the services, uh, what was the service? This is a main app service. They represent the application itself, and the other one is a DB service. We can add the two or more, three services or four services in a one YAML file. And the next app is a service app. The service is a primary application context. Here it's defined. And then the build, it's build the app image from the Dockerfile, the current directory. Additional arguments can be specified, such as a build env the productions. Arguments are the build env productions image. The tagging, build an image has a like it's a pulling the image. I want this image Ubuntu latest from the image. And environment variables, we set around is Linux, so you can easily understand environment variables. And the port, mapping the ports at 3000 on the ports at the port 3000. Port is mapping port 3000 on the host port is 3000 in the container. In the volume, they created the volume app.data in the restricted application data mapping app data host names and labels. The label means a metadata to better environment identifiers such as the production or testing. As your requirement, you need to add another labels. You can easily add them. In the network, they connect the two networks, app.network and db.network, internal connection communication. If the network is not present in the present working system, it's automatically created. The restart policy ensure the container automatically restart if it stops unexpectedly. Most we can use the restart policy always. It is, but we can discuss about this restart policy always or on failure when you have to deploy the models using the swan. And the db is another service, like pulling the image, mysql image, and environment variables like mysql root password and database name, and username of the database and password of the database. And these are the variables. You can based on the image, variables are changes. If you're using the Hadoop, you have the different variables like that. In the volume, define the volume, the president's volume, the mysql of the data, and the networking, specifying the networking, and ports, specifying the ports. And the named volumes are defined to ensure the data in the beyond the life cycle of the containers, like app data drives on the local. I want to uh, driver locals, and database data are the local, and network, the app is a bridge network, and db also the bridge network. It takes some time. There were two containers are running. One was mysql, docker project.db, and docker project.app.1. Both are running using the compose file. Something is going wrong on Ubuntu. It's continuously restarting it. We check it later. Right now I want to stop the entire, take it again. Then there is no containers running. Using the multipass, I created the two nodes, and worker node and worker 2. Multipass is easy way to create the Docker nodes using the Ubuntu. So I want to enter into the doc. Sorry. Shell one. Just enter into the shell, and then the first, to deploy our models in the Docker Swarm, we need to make the few adjustments of the Docker compose files. I show you this example later. If you want to ensure, if you want to well with the Docker Swarm mode, here how it's to deploy the Docker Swarm. First, initialization the Docker Swarm at Docker Swarm init. It generates the token like a join token. You need to add on the, this is a leader node. If you add on the worker nodes, exit. Sorry. Worker to join. The displaying the join was successfully. The node is joined. Swan has worked. Worker node and the clear. The exit. Enters into the worker one. The clear Docker or ls. Okay, showing that two, one was the leader node and another one is a worker node. And then I show you some examples. The version 1 service, everything is common, but the few things I added. Deploy is the replicas 3. I don't want the replicas 3. I don't only want the one, the replica. Parallelism, the one parallelize. I don't have the much for the resources, that's why I leave it. And the delay the 10 seconds, and a restart policy condition on failure. There's a bunch of conditions, so you can check it on the Docker compose file. And here the deployment and the constraint is a node role is a manager, like it only runs on the main node, it's only runs on the main working node. It's not working worker nodes. And the condition on failure, the volumes, everything is normal, right? And quit. And Docker stack deploy C. Creating the network, creating the service, create service map,